Cool. So, thank you for taking the time to do this, Tom. So feel free, mate, to just give a bit of an introduction as to who you are and what it is that you do.
Yeah, I'm Tom, and I am a graphic designer, mostly a graphic designer. I live in Austin, and I've been doing that for probably 13 years on my own. So I've been living the freelance life for quite a while, and really realizing that I just could not, I was plateauing. I just could not, make above 100,000, and oftentimes it would be significantly lower than that. So the years were just kind of, and so I got to this point where I'm like, what am I doing? I need to either find a new career or figure out what to do with my business. So long story short, it led me to one of your videos and to your content, and then your manifesto. Since I'm a reader, I like to read. So I read your manifesto and I was like, shit, this guy, he know, like, what you like, here are the wrong things to do. I'm like, yeah, I do that. That's what I do. Yeah, that's my strategy. Yeah. Like I just kept going like, oh yeah, but it's really helpful to see that stuff, because you're like, okay. It's changeable stuff. It's just, I'm just not thinking right about how I'm going about this whole business. So, but today I was always skeptical because I thought that graphic designers, as you call it, it's design, we sell design services. And I thought, graphic designers really can't, it's a lifestyle choice. It's not a money choice. You can't be really successful as a graphic designer and make any really good money. It's just, so I had a lot of beliefs around that too, which I'm still working through and shaking off.
Cool.
So, but your program is more about stretching beyond that. That's the thing. It's like, it's getting back to like the bigger picture of business itself and value creation. It's not graphic design, becoming a better graphic designer, right? You would say that you don't have any Photoshop tutorials.
Not yet, anyway. Take me through, like, what was it about the program that I suppose made you think, yeah, this is what I want or need? Like, is there any specific feature of it? Was it more just the overall strategy that I go through in the manifesto? Was it some of the offer components around the calls? Like, what do you feel like led you to believe, yeah, this is going to be a good investment?
Yeah, I think it was a combination of, like, it was your overall sense. Like, I've read a lot of business books, and I've watched a lot of videos and all of that stuff. So I had some sense of the language and all of that of business, but I hadn't taken any action or done anything. But the way you put it all together in your manifesto, things just kind of clicked. And I was like, yeah, this is actually true. This is the way to do it. It just resonated with me that you were appealing to people that, are selling design services helps a lot too. So, because the services component, what to me was the tricky part, was like, how do I scale myself? It's just doesn't even seem possible. So, and then your case studies were the ones that I went through all your case studies that were graphic designers, and some of their stories were just really impressive. And, there was nothing fancy. They weren't fancy people. They were just graphic designers like me, and changed some things and made a big difference. So I was like, if they can do it, I can do it. In fact, one of them I liked was the woman who was on the call when I was on the last call with you from us. She's Australian, right?
Molly.
Molly. Yeah. I remember hers especially too. She had a case study, and I was like, wow, I like her because she does focused on kind of the intellectual work, like doing stuff for maybe intellectual journals and scientific journals. And I thought, oh, that's kind of a cool niche. I don't do any of that. Like maybe I could, and she's like, successful? Oh, okay. It just opens up your mind like, oh yeah, doesn't have to be the way you're doing it, so.
Okay. Cool. Based on, and sorry, I've got a kid screaming in the background as usual. But what components of the program do you feel like you're getting the most value out of so far, or like or is there a specific topic that we cover, or is there a specific way the program's structured that like you find is like superior value in comparison to the other things? Or there's things that you resonate more towards, like the core?
Yeah, I think that I think first of all, the structure is simple, but it's like the combination of your training, which is very thorough and really heavy on principles. I'm a principles guy, and you got to get to the principles, and you get to the principles. That's one of the things I liked about your stuff. I was like, this guy's thinking in principles. That's what I need. So it's not about like some trendy newfangled thing. It's like, these are the principles. This is how business works. This is what matters. So I think in the training, the biggest thing for me probably that stands out is the mindset shift around really thinking about the building a valuable offer, and thinking about really like, stop thinking about graphic design for a minute and start thinking about what these people need and what problems they're trying to solve. I mean, it's just not how I've thought. I tended to just get referrals all this time. It's just been referrals, and they come and they need something very specific, graphic design related, and I serve them and call it good. And they like my work, so they recommend me to other people. But it's like it's never going anywhere. It's like to really think. Like and the other thing was the conversations, having these sales conversations, which I've only had a couple so far, but that's a shift in terms of like, yeah, I mean, even these referrals that came to me, I could have asked them these questions. I could have dug deeper and all of that. I didn't even think about that. It was just like, what do you need, Mabe? Oh, you need a website? Okay, I can do your website. That was it.
Yeah, it's just the idea that the minute that we change the principle around how we see the business, it completely changes the way we conduct ourselves throughout the whole process, doesn't it? And you might have already just harped on this, but like, if you were to take like one major aha moment out of what you've learned, what do you feel like it is?
The aha moment, I think, was I think I got this early on one of your first webinars, was the salad kit. That really, it's so simple, but it's like, it's what's so weird is like, we know this as consumers. Like, why do I not buy the head of lettuce? Because I'm a convenience guy. Like, give me the salad ready-made mix. For God's sakes, anything that saves me some time. But then you really put it like the numbers, and they're like, why is this 50 cents and this is 7x? You could get all these things and make them yourself. And I thought, yeah, that's the principle. And we live it every day. It's in every product. It's in everything we consume. So it's kind of unseen in a way, and we don't apply it to ourselves. And so then I was like, oh, okay, what is the salad kit version of my work? That they go, oh yeah, like, just give me all of that. Just package it up and give it to me, and I'll pay 7x because it solves these 5 problems for me or whatever, So that's the shift I'm really going to be making this year too, is that mindset shift into what is the salad kit version of my work.
Got it.
So, but yeah, I don't know, something about that one is that one resonated with me. So
yeah, it's like I find it's like if we just chip away at that idea of like, how do we move from a head of lettuce to salad? And if we could just nail that, and like at the simplest idea, at the simplest level, it's a very simple idea, but to execute and actually implement based on it is obviously, what the training program's about. But I mean, and obviously you're still relatively fresh in the process and the program, but take me through some of like the results of the thinking and the implementation that you've learned through the training program. Like, how has it impacted like your business with your existing clients? How's it
Well, so far it's led to a couple things. The first was a new client they came as a referral, but this time I had the Q&A and the sales letter, the sales conversation to go with them. So I sat down with them and talked with them about their business and built a rapport. And then I went through your proposal process, and you reviewed my proposal, which was helpful, and really tried to focus on value and results. And they liked it. And they even said something. It's interesting, Patrick, I never told you this. I hope to bid a lot bigger than 7,000 at some day, but this was bigger for me because I was like, I normally would have maybe done this for 4 or 5, and I decided to go to 7. And they came back and they were like, well, it's a bit outside our budget. I think she was thinking more like 5. And I said to her, I said, you have to, I said, I look at this as a high ROI project, because they have a horrible website now. It's just awful. It's confusing and whatever. And I'm like, but they're really good business. And I'm like, this is going to make a real material difference for you guys. We're going to get this all straightened out. It's going to be clean, clear, easy ways, easy calls to action. It's going to, and she liked that answer. And I was like, I would have never said that before.
Yeah,
I would have never thought that way.
It's just the conviction just has to be there in having the gusto to ask for the number. And like what a lot of people do is they might want to charge 7 or they might want to charge 10, but they haven't developed the principles or understanding as to why they can. Therefore, they don't charge it. But like for me, It's like in that situation, if you put 7 down, it's because you understood why you could. And then when somebody's like, well, why are you charging 7? Here's why. Here's the impact, and one of the big things we do is, and this is why it's so important, like one of the easiest shortcuts to justifying return on investment is just helping people that have big average transaction values. So if somebody sells, individual bottles of milk in a store, how many additional bottles of milk do they have to sell to justify a $7,000 investment in comparison to if your client makes $10,000 sales? What's the impact of the website for it to be a return on investment for them to make their $7,000 back? Well, it's less than a sale. So it's the minute that we just frame things around their mathematics, that's where it's easier to communicate, return on investment, because at the end of the day, decision makers speak in terms of accounting, not design and aesthetic and look and cleanliness. It comes down to, economic utility, I suppose.
Yeah, no, I mean, your training is all about truth bombs all over the place. And those are the kind of things where you're like, shit, he's right. And what's interesting is I would think like, you're right. Like this business, maybe they'll generate $1 million in revenue in a year. And it's like, so what is $7,000? Why is that outside your budget? But it's interesting that you have to convince them of that, though. You have to still make your case. They don't see it. They still don't see it. It's kind of like what people think of design sometimes. They just think it's like, I don't know, they just think it's a gloss or anyone can do it.
Yeah, they think it's a gloss, definitely.
Yeah.
And the thing is that that the sales process is not about selling the gloss, but it's about educating that the gloss is actually something that shifts the numbers, and the offer should be something that impacts the numbers. And if they can see how it impacts, then your charging capacity is relative to their belief of, the number shift that you're proposing. But
Yeah.
yeah, cool. So like, based on what you've absorbed in the training program, like, how does it change maybe the way that you think about the future of your business, like in comparison to maybe the way you were thinking about it before you came in?
Oh yeah. I mean, I feel like I have a game plan now. It's just up to me to implement it. It's not like there's really not a lot of confusion anymore about what to do. It's like you lay it all out. And so, and you make the case for it. It's not just follow this, just do what I say because I'm Patrick. It's like you develop the principles and then you say, okay, now here's how you follow through on those principles. So it gives me hope for the year, and like, oh, okay, like this could be a much more exciting year of like becoming an entrepreneur and my business changing a lot rather than just being like the same thing it's been for 13 years. It's just me doing graphic design. Like some projects are good, some aren't so good, and so this is more like, okay, my work could significantly change in a year from now. Like what I actually do and perform for the clients, that could change. So one of the other things that happened, I had another potential client that about the same time as this last one, and they were just, they were a SaaS software company with 30 employees and Fortune 500 customers, right? They had a horrible website, but I talked to them. I had 3 meetings with them, and I just didn't have a good feeling about them. It was just, they were nice, but flaky. They were missing the calls, and I couldn't connect with them very well, but they wanted me. I gave them my proposal. I gave it for 9,000 because I was like, okay, I'm going to keep bumping these up. And I gave it for 9,000. And then they came back and said, can you do it for 7? And I thought a lot about it, but then I ended up declining it completely because I thought the reason I did that was because I thought it's going to be a huge time suck. This project was going to be, I could just tell working with them and how it was going to go. It's going to be a huge time suck. I was like, let's put that time into better clients. Like, let's put that time into finding better clients. Let's invest that time in my business rather than with the old me, which would have taken it, even though I had misgivings about it, because I need the money. And, 2 months later, when I'm still working on it, I'm, dreading it. But now I'm just like, you can say no because you have a plan. So you're going to, like, you know what I'm saying, Patrick? It's like getting started, getting momentum takes some time to get going. And if I'm totally consumed by these projects with inferior clients or clients that aren't a good fit, really, then I'm never going to get to that good client, because really that's what we all want, right? It's not just more money. We want that sweet spot client that we really are geared towards them. We can really help them, and they're fun to work with and all of that for this, at the same time. So that's what we're after. So yeah, I have confidence, more confidence now.
Got it. Nice, mate. Well, yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to offer your 2 cents about your experience in the program so far. And yeah, we will chat again soon. I'll end it now, but like we can continue chatting.
Okay.